also very passionate about education and research. He was instrumental in implementing Industry 4.0, digitalization, Six Sigma, lean manufacturing, and energy management system in various leading MNCs like Saint-Gobain Glass, Valeo, Hanson Drives, ZF, and Siemens. He's an alumnus of the IIM Rohtak, Liverpool John Moores University, IIIT Bangalore, College of Engineering Anna University, and Government Polytechnic in our own Coimbatore. His achievements include ISO 50,000 lead auditor, IEC 62443 industrial cyber security assessment expert, lean manufacturing trainer, Six Sigma green belt, and he has held various positions in various professional bodies like International Society for Automation, Indian Association for Energy Management Professional. He was the past National General Secretary. He's also an avid researcher and author of 5 scientific publications and 40 plus working papers with over amazing 92,000 plus reads. And he has a ResearchGate score of 301. Mr. Dr. Somasundaram, it's an honor and pleasure to have you with us for the CMA Monday Musings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. Thank you so much for your kind words. Yeah. Hello, everyone. So I have prepared some ice-breaking kind of a small activity so that we all get synced before the very main topic of this particular event. So I know that there are 100 plus who are there, and it will be practically impossible for me to understand who are all there and what is your profile and other things. So we have created some beautiful Mentimeter by my team. So I want to just understand a few things from the audience so that we can custom our delivery when we are talking about this particular topic on how we can create a digital transformation ecosystem, and how partnering with academia is something which I was doing it in my 20 plus years of professional experience. I was always working with academic institutions, and that is one of my, I would say, if at all something I have achieved, it is because of that. So I will also share some good stories from it so that you all can appreciate it. And majority of you will be having some ideas of starting up, maybe doing some new ventures and other things. So probably this will give you some more information on how the ecosystem can be tapped. I would say the blessing in disguise is we are having a lot of resources in our nation, and probably with that, how we can take it to the next level. Yeah, cool. So the first thing what I want to understand from you is which device you are using to connect with this particular session. So I'm just presenting this poll. I hope my screen is visible for everyone. And it's a Mentimeter. I think majority of you might have used it before. And you have to just go to www.menti.com and type in this code, and maybe you can cast your votes. Just to have a feel, what type of device you're using, so that I can know, like, okay, if there are no more mobile phones, then I have to communicate only with, my voice modulations and other things. If it is tablet, yeah, I can go for a mix of audio and visual. Yeah. If laptop and desktop, then, we can do a lot many things. Cool. So I have only one response so far. Maybe we are 100. Let's at least touch in another 2 minutes. 30, 40, yeah, something like that. Great. Tablet or iPad, anything is okay. Yeah, both are same. Yeah. Okay, we will wait for another 30 seconds. See if it is okay. Okay, mobile is trying to overtake laptop and desktop. Oh, very poor. Only 8 responses so far. 9. Oh, come on. It's only 10 percentage of you have voted. Huh? So surprising. Okay, cool. So the majority says like it's more mobile. Yeah, and there are few desktop and laptop users. Okay, so I expect more participation in the next polling at least, and my way of delivery is more uh, this kind of interactive one. I don't go with PowerPoint slides and other things. It's more interactive. That is how I normally deliver. So please excuse if you are traveling. Maybe you can park at some place and try to participate in these kind of activities so that we make the best use of the time at both sides. Maybe with the very not so good responses, so we will skip the second poll and we will go to the third one, which is very, very important. I want to
So,
understand,
excuse me. Sorry to disturb you. Interrupt. Actually, you can post that code in the chat box. It's a little easy for people to
Sure,
copy
sure.
and paste.
I'll do that. I'll
Maybe
do
it
that.
will
I'll do
take some time to type that code.
I
So
understand. I understand. I understand. Yeah, maybe the second poll. Thank you, Dr. Vandana, for suggesting this. I'll just put it in the chat. So here, I like to understand, who you are, and probably what is your expectation from this particular session, which we have planned for a hour or so. Yeah. So there are multiple choice questions: student, working in industry, faculty, entrepreneur, or doing business. Yeah. Please excuse if I have made some spelling mistakes. Okay. Let's start the timer. Okay. Cool. Wow. Dr. Vandana, I think you are right. So the link really works. Cool. We have more students. Great. Faculties. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Uh, I think I got the result. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Okay. There are more students here. Very few, 2% industry professionals, and close to, I don't know, one is very small number. I know that Dr. Prashant, Dr. Vandana, you are all from industry. You are all from academia. Yeah, great. If you have answered the first poll, then we can go to the second one. You have to just press, slide it or something like that, and maybe you can type in what is your expectation from this session. It's an open-ended question, so that you can type free text. So you can just type it. What is that you are expecting from this session? I can see that there is a lot of students. Great. I like to understand, what is your expectation from this session? Maybe once again, I will post the link so that, if at all someone have missed it, you can just copy and put it there. Oh, yes, I had a student. Great. But my suggestion is Anjali, Sujita, Shivpriya, please participate in the poll. Yeah, I can see the chat, but the poll is more interesting, Yeah. To learn something from the session, learning new things, insight about digital innovation, the trend in technology. Great. Very good. Yeah. There are 4 responses so far. Come on, please type in. What is that you're expecting? Probably you might have seen the title. That may be something in your, thoughts. Probably this is what I will heads up on few subject about tools for business transformation with digitalization. Great. Innovative ideas by business startup. Very good. Yeah. Industrial environment. You want to understand about industrial environment. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Current technology, innovation in industry. Okay, great. Okay. System administration. Great. Okay. More knowledge about digital innovation ecosystem. Path of success. Okay, great. Okay, great. If you want, you can also post some more time. Yeah. Okay. Learn new things. Okay. Oh. Come on. Let's at least cross 20. 100 we are. 20. Can't we cross 20? 13. Great. Some strategy to sustain in the digital world. Great. Seven more. Innovative culture in community. Great. Yeah. New things. Great. Yeah. It's great. Another 4. Come on. Let's do it. Another 4. 16%. It's a very poor percentage. Digital marketing. Okay, cool. I think you're typing it for the second time, probably. It's not, increasing the count. Another 4 new responses. It's not encouraging, but it's okay. It's okay. Great. So I can see that you want to, see what is new in the industry. Okay, that's one of the important takeaway you like to have, and you want to understand how you can start up. Yeah, if I have to summarize everything, and market perception. Yeah, Sundar Narasimhan. He wants market perception. He wants to understand the perception of the market. Okay, good. Yeah. Great. So I have a fair feeling, okay, at least whomever is, responding, that is a 20% of the participant, at least they have this particular wish list in their mind. Okay, great. So what we will do is we will spend some more time in understanding probably what digitalization is all about. And, there are some basic elements probably you need to be familiar. If you say to someone that I have attended so-and-so session, and probably they will be quizzing you some, few pointers about it. So let's have that particular housekeeping so that, you are familiar with the basic concepts. And after that, we will show you probably at LG how we are doing it, and with my own experience in other companies, how we update. Yeah. So all these things I can show it to you. Okay. Thank you for your participation in these 2 mentees. So there are a couple other mentees also which are there. So I hope you all can enjoy it. Yeah? The first thing is about digital transformation, right? So before going into digital transformation, there is a question that latest trend is something what you want to understand. Yeah. So maybe someone can say, you all are probably doing BBA or MBA, yeah, right? And there are a lot of a few faculties also here. But the majority of the time, when you are searching for some new things, probably can you tell me which thing you will refer, or which is the source of knowledge probably you will refer if you want to understand the latest happenings in the industry. Can someone unmute and probably or put it in the chat? Yeah. What is that you where you will search for something to understand what is the latest trend happening, which you can cite it in some research paper, which you can take it as a project. I'm not talking about something you can Google, right? So obviously this can also be Google, but I'm saying what question you have to ask is something you need to be always, which is support for industry. Okay, great. So the question is, if you are asked to write a thesis or asked to write a presentation on the latest trend in technology, which is the one very important thing you will refer to, whether it is books,
Books.
whether it books. Okay, great. Okay, yeah, Google. Yeah, but Google, but what you will Google, see Elon Musk in one of the Dubai meeting, where the technology conclave and other things are happening, that he told like in future probably we need to only get trained on what question we have to ask Google. Probably Google or some other platform will come, but what question to ask is something which is very important. What you will Google? An authenticated, probably industry, widely used in industry, widely appreciated in industry. Because there were things like Sundaran Narasimhan, he wants market perception, right? He wants a perception of the market. Yeah, Srinivasan, he wants to understand how industry can be supported with the digitalization. What are all the challenges? Yeah, great. So, how you will find it? Yeah, maybe I hope my screen is shared, right? No.
No, doctor, not now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So
Yes.
there is a very important thing which you can always, depend on, which is called Gartner. Gartner, and especially if you want a summary of what is happening, you can type a hype cycle and you can type, whatever it is, For example, technology, you type it, then, emerging technologies, it will give you something called a hype cycle. Everyone calls this as hype, right? A hype cycle will be normally like this. Yeah, it will be normally like this. So hype cycle will be normally like this curve, this is a very famous curve, and this is how the hype cycle would be. So for example, we are in 2023, right? So you can see like hype cycle of emerging technology in 2022. Yeah, so it will show you that, okay, what technologies is something people are talking about, which will be somewhere in the starting of the hype cycle, and what technologies is something, at the peak of the hype, people are telling like, yeah, something will happen surely. There are a lot of articles people are writing, all those things will be, here. For example, web 2.0 is something what the kind of internet what we are using now. For example, typing what we want. Web 3.0 is something people are researching about. There are a lot of books, people are talking about it. They are saying like, okay, this is how it will be, this is how that will be, all these hypes is something, it will be here. Then, it will come down. There is a lot of expectation, people will be setting it up, and after that it will come down. Maybe I will open this image in a new tab so that I can show you. Yeah, I hope you are able to see it clearly now, right? So you can see like, cyber security, mesh architecture, minimum viable architecture, open telemetry, casual AI. These are all the things that people are researching about. People are, telling that metaverse, Facebook's metaverse, that Oculus Quest kind of virtual reality kind of things, augmented FinOps, machine learning, code generation, automatically the code will get generated, generative design AI, all these things are something which people are now talking about in 2022. So my suggestion or my advice to especially the young researchers here, because each and every business administrator, after you come into the industry, what is very much expected out of you is do a thorough research. Research should be it should be your bread and butter, right? So when you are researching, especially when you are presenting to someone and making a business pitch, always pick something from this Gartner hype cycle, which is predominantly accepted in the market or by the industry professionals. And Gartner is one of the very leading analyst kind of an organization, and they publish it every year. This is what they say. For example, digital human, during COVID, people started talking about this because vaccination, taking a trial of this particular vaccination in a human subject, that is something very much very difficult for us to do it. So they were thinking of how I can create a digital human, create the complete modeling of a human, and there I can try out, like, okay, if I'm going to inject this particular vaccine, what will happen to the body? All these trials can be done virtually. Yeah, this is something people are talking about. Yeah. So similarly, the same hype cycle, when you are presenting to someone,
Doctor, if I can just ask you a question. Doctor? I think Dr. Somu lost his connectivity. He'll be back in a second. Please bear with us.
Yeah, sorry, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, power cut happened.
No problem.
Yeah, normally we don't expect it in office, but I don't know, something have happened. Cool. So
Doctor, if I can ask you a question as you're connecting.
yeah, please.
This Gartner hype is only for digital technology, is it?
No, see, they have some, I think, 70 odd subject lines. Even, you can search for any other topic also, but predominantly it is more on technology-based things. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not only IT. It's even, you can talk about many other technologies.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and similar kind of hype cycle you can also find it. For example, biotechnology. If you want to see an hype cycle, then you can search for it. Only thing is you have to you know that, right? When the things are getting published, it has to be published from some quality publishing house. That is the only thing what we have to see. Yeah. Cool. So hope my screen is visible for you all, right?
Yes, Doctor. Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So there is another very important aspect, especially there was a question in the chat, like market perspective, right? For example, you are going to be a decision maker, or you're going to assist a decision making in an industry, and you want to understand probably, there are a lot of suppliers who will be coming in your gate, and they'll be saying like, hey, we are good, we are there, and all these things will be a normal kind of a sales pitch they will be doing it, right? So in order to understand really who are all the people, who are the leaders, what they are doing and other things, is called the magic quadrant. In the magic quadrant is something where you can find probably for each and every category of supplier. For example, you can see Zoom, the platform what we are using. They are in the leader in 2021 Gartner. Yeah, right. So here, just to give a double click of this is it is not only like they will say the leader. Obviously, a leader will be very costly sometimes, but they will also give the information on who are all the niche players, who are all having a very good vision and their particular product is moving up, and who are all the challenges for the leaders. There are some new an existing company having a new business line, and they are trying to challenge the existing ecosystem. So those kind of people also will be listed. I think this particular thing gives a very important aspect of definition of each and every people. Challenger executes comparatively well today or may dominate a large segment. So they will say like there are the people who are just come in, but they have a roadmap which is aligned towards challenging the existing leaders. So those kind of things will be available. This is called magic quadrant. And magic quadrant is a research methodology what Gartner used, and many of us, whenever we are presenting to our top people, there are a lot of things like maturity. Again, it's a kind of a 4-quadrant kind of a graph we can use, and we can say like, okay, this is how my priority matrix is. This is the maturity matrix. All these things you can also see it. Yeah, this is another very important aspect where you can find suppliers, or you can rate the existing service providers in terms of where they are. Okay, for example, Zoom Visa. Similarly, you can also see something like, okay, Microsoft. Okay, and you can just say like, okay, Microsoft, where they are. Sometimes there will be some new people who will be just coming inside, and they will be challenging even Microsoft kind of a company. So you will be able to better understand, okay, these are all the people who are the startups, and they are trying to challenge even people like Microsoft. You can see Microsoft. How many of you have seen OpenText? How many of you have seen Highlands? Have you ever came across these kind of platforms? OpenText, even many people might not have seen this. So all these things will be available in the magic quadrant, which is another very important source of knowledge, especially when you are deciding on to whom I have to go, and who is the particular supplier whom I have to benchmark for my requirements. So this is another source of information. Yeah, cool. Now, the topic here is more on digitalization. Now, just to have a conversation, probably you might have heard about a lot of words, especially I will say like digital. Yeah, and what other words along with the digital you have heard it? Digital marketing. Someone was saying digital marketing. Anything else?
So digitalization.
Digitalization, very good. Digitalization. Yeah. Anything else? For example, if you see my designation, it is called digital transformation, right? And probably you might have also seen like a digitization, right? So there are a lot of words, right? So where you will find probably meanings for these words. Yeah, obviously you will say a dictionary, right? Am I right? Okay, but professionally speaking, there is one more very important source of information. Again, it is also from the house of Gartner. Gartner, there is a glossary which is also available. This is a technical glossary which is also available, and there you can find the definition of what is digitalization. What is digitization? What is digital? Yeah. So you can see here, for example, you go to D, you will find everything, digitization, digitalization, everything you can search. And it is a glossary which is available. Yeah. Obviously, you can also Google it. I'm not saying you can Google it, but when you're writing the definition, my suggestion would be like you can go to, Gartner's glossary, and you can search, for example, I want to understand what is digital transformation. Yeah. You type it, then, you will get it. Yeah. Digital transformation can refer to anything from IT modernization. It can be IT modernization also to digital optimization. Already there are some solutions which is available where data is coming, and with that, any optimization, if it is possible, and creating something new to the invention of a new digital business model. A new business model. This is something very, very, important. It's something like how we can change the landscape of the business using these emerging technologies like digitalization. Yeah, and they
Doctor,
also
one
say
second,
like,
doctor.
yeah, yeah.
We can see only your mail, doctor. We can't see the screen you're sharing.
Oh, I am very sorry then. Just a minute. Yeah. Is it now available, visible for you all?
Yes, doctor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for pointing it out.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm also putting this in the chat so that, you can also have a note of the URL. Yeah. And how about the magic quadrant? When I am presenting, you are able to see the screen?
No, doctor, we couldn't.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So magic quadrant is this. Yeah. This is the magic quadrant. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. This is the magic quadrant. So, for example, you might have heard about Microsoft. You might have heard about IBM. But have you heard about Highland? Have you heard about OpenText? Have you heard about Box, M-File? Practically not possible. We cannot see everything. Yeah? And very important, they also show like, okay, October 2018, you can also see that, okay, how they have progressed from 2018, 19, 20, and after that, how they are, that will give the perspective of how they are, where they are. Yeah. So this is another way, you can also see which player is yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, it is visible.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, fine. So now, with this, any questions so far? Yeah, I think a glossary I have shown you, and you can just type, for example, digitalization. Yeah, type, and you will find like, okay, yeah, I think it's a spelling mistake. Okay. So you can find all the aspects related to digitalization will be available. Digitalization is the use of digital technology to change a business model or provide a new revenue and value producing opportunities. It is a process of moving to a digital business. Yeah, and they will also give their own materials and other things, which it's up to you. You can also see it if you want. And in addition to that, you can also see digitization.
Doctor, can you share that screen?
Sorry, which screen?
Digitization.
Oh, okay, just a minute. now I am having only one screen with me. Yeah, you are able to see the screen?
Yes, doctor. Now we can see.
Okay, you are able to see digitization, right?
Digitization, yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So now digitization is the process of changing from analog to digital. So anything, from paper, if you are taking into a digital form, then it is called digitization. So it's only a conversion from the analog way of, how we are handling the things into a digital way. So that's called digitization. Now, the next important thing is the digitalization. Yeah. It's digitalization. It will be somewhere here in the bottom. Yeah. Digitalization is now you have converted the analog information into digital form, but with that particular digital form of a data, how you are going to use it to change the business model, provide new revenue and value producing opportunities. Okay, how you can give some new business model, how you can help the top line improvement, even the bottom line improvement in many cases. It is also a process of moving to a digital business. Probably, if people are using a paper-based workflow or process flow, then they can convert it into a completed digital way of working, so that all the approval process and other things happens completely paperless. Yeah, in digitization, what we are doing, we are only storing the analog information into digital form, but we are not connecting it together. But in digitalization, what we are doing is we are connecting it together. Okay, cool. Any doubts so far? So you are able to now understand what is digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation, right? Probably it is, chronologically you can think. So digital is the first step, and digitization is changing the analog values, that is something like a paper or the subjective informations into more objective. Then it is digitization. Now you have information in a digital way. With that particular information, if you are able to create a new business model, create a new revenue, create some value to the existing value chain, then that is a digitalization. The next level is digital transformation. That is multiple departments, multiple functions, multiple geographical units. If you are able to connect together and create a new business model, then it is called digital transformation. You are transforming your complete business into a new way, your new business model. Then it is called digital transformation. Okay, so there are some very thin line of separation, especially between digitalization and digital transformation. But digital transformation as such, it calls for a business transformation using digital technologies. That is what digital transformation is all about. Cool, fine. So now another important distinguish or the difference you have to understand is something called industrial revolution. Yeah, we were talking about industrial revolutions, and way back many years ago, 1760. Probably our great grandfathers, when they are working in factories, the life conditions and other things are very different. So this is very much essential. Sometimes the people will think like, okay, this is more on industry, it is not related to my business. Yeah, but that is a wrong perception, because I think I was talking to one other gentleman just before the event, like what is the advantage of having a digital a way of doing business is reducing the variance. So when we are talking about reducing the variance or the variation, then that particular variation, especially in the product or the service what we are giving to our end customer, if there is a huge variation, then it will be practically impossible for us to have a control on the various aspects, and we will not be able to respond to the change in the market demand. Okay, the agility, the speed at which we are responding to the changes in the market will be very difficult. So variation is something which we have to reduce. That's the reason people are advocating like you have to set your processes, especially in the manufacturing area or the operations area, so that you are getting a better control of everything. because that is the predominant area where there could be huge variation. And at the same time, that is the very important area which also have to respond to the markets, ups and downs. Sometimes pandemic, there is a reduced demand, then automatically operations have to scale down. They should not, consume unnecessarily a lot of, power, or I would say money, and it should not become something like a very big inventory. All those things, will lead us to, very big financial problems. So yeah, control over the operations is something very, very important. So probably can someone tell which what version of industrial revolution we are in?
4.0.
4.0, right? Okay, so let's have something like, okay, yeah, this is a very famous picture. So industry 1.0, can someone tell me what is industry 1.0 all about? Industry 1.0.
Post World War II. Mechanization.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, maybe the period is more along with the World War. Yeah, and it is not a coincidence. Each and every industrial revolution, happened probably after a war. Okay. Many times, especially Industry Revolution 1 and 2, it has a very important coincidence with the war. This is I don't know how many of you know the story, especially the machine that changed the world, the books and all. If you read, you will be able to better understand how economics is driving war. Especially if you want to understand why Japan is bombarded with a nuclear bomb, probably many of you will say like, hey, Japanese hit the Pearl Harbor, that is the reason America have put a atom bomb on them. Okay, all these things are there, but if you really go inside, and I think see, Japan is those days it's equal to China. Okay, now China, how they are producing in mass, and they are low cost, and they are almost shattering the business. Many competitions, and the margins and other things will become very thin when a Japanese player is there in the market. The same way Japan was a Chinese player is there in the market. The same way in those days America is hugely challenged by Japan. Okay. And for example, Ford was the one of the very renowned car maker, but now suddenly there are a lot of car makers from Japan who emerged, and they started taking up the things. And textile is one of the very important business, and the automation in the textile is something which really hampered the US business. And it's all like if someone have to decide, someone have to lobby, right? So the lobbyists have influenced the political decision makers, and they try to let's close down Japan so that I am there in the business. So everything is business, which really drew the wars. Yeah, and we are also seeing in our contemporary world also. Yeah. Fine. So, back from politics, going into what our books are teaching us. Let's see what our books are teaching us. Okay. So the books are teaching like the first industrial revolution is more powered by steam. Yeah. Second industrial revolution is more by electricity, and in industrial engineering terms or on operations terms, mass production is something people started using. Before mass production, what was the way the people were producing? What is it called? Anyone know? Especially from operations or before mass production. Yeah, any idea? So they call that as something like crafting. They craft. For example, each and every car, it is built by people, and each and everything will be different. Okay, because it's not mass produced, it's handcrafted. It's crafted, crafting is the way how people were building the machines. But when Henry Ford thought like, okay, no, this is not the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in a mass production, and he started introducing conveyor belts, and over that the cars will be moving, and operator will also along with it move. But normally, in our production shop floors, you might see, but in our shop floor, you can also see that we are having automated guided vehicles, and the compressor moves, and along with that, the operator also move. The operator in motion, that is how the production is happening. So those kind of production and other things are, pioneered by Ford. But very important is with this mass production, the cost of production came down because your overheads are getting shared, and you are having a better utilization of your operation resources. That way the cost is getting reduced. And after that, very important, electricity came in. Then electricity is also very difficult to control. I don't know how many of you have seen. Maybe you might have gone for powdering the wheat, or the grains in a grinding kind of a shop. Operating that particular heavy motor itself is a very big task. Nowadays, you are having electronics which are controlling the electricity. That is something which started in the third industrial revolution. More, electronics came into picture, and that started controlling the way how electricity have to flow, so that it becomes very easy for controlling the machines. Now, in the fourth industrial revolution, these electronics are intelligent, and they are able to give some information about how that machine is performing. So this data is something which is available with us, and with this particular data, we are trying to see how we can add some value for the improvement of the value chain. So it's something like digitization is something what happened in Industry 3.0, and now we are working more on digitalization, and maybe in future it is more on digital transformation. That is what we are looking at. Okay, fine. Any doubts so far? I know it's a little gray topic, so just to have some masala to this, we will have some few Mentimeter on this. Okay, so that you can have a better understanding. At least you will have something, everyone is on the same page. Yeah, cool. So this is the first Menti. I will also copy it, put it in the chat so that you can answer it. So the question is, steam engine is related to Industry 4.0, Industry 2.0, Industry 1.0. Which one is right? Oh, someone by mistake have touched Industry 1.0. Very good. Industry 2.0. Oh, wow. Industry 4.0. Yeah, at least I'm happy. Yeah, 8, 9. Wow, great. The speed at which you are responding is improving. I think we will touch 20. Okay, cool. The answer is Industry 1.0. So you can think it this way. Mechanical engineers are the first people who came inside. So mechanical engineer, that means mechanical is a steam engine. Yeah, then electrical engineers. That is Industry 2.0, where electricity, electrical motor, mass production, and other things came in. Then electronics, electrical and electronics engineers, they came in. So that is Industry 3.0. Now who is coming? Which engineer is getting, or which department or engineering department? Probably capitation fee is more. Cool. Yeah, IT, computer science, right? So that is the data science and other things. They are the people who are now there. Cool. So let's go to the next important thing. Okay, so it's an open-ended question. So what is IIoT? IIoT. Yeah. IIoT. Yeah, you can even Google it. It's not a problem. Yeah. Next thing, you want the code. It's the same code. I think. What is IIoT? Yeah, Internet of Things is IoT. What is IIoT? What IIoT? Double I, double I square OT. Even you can Google it. It's not a problem. Good. Industrial Internet of Things. So it's not only Internet of Things. It is Industrial Internet of Things. So in Internet of Things, you can use it even in your home, even in your college and other things. But when you're using it in industry, it needs the due diligence. That means it has to be complying to certain standards. All these things are there. Okay, so Industrial Internet of Things is IIoT. Cool. So now just to make sure your understanding on Industry 4.0 is right, we will have one more short Menti, which may be a little difficult for you all. Cool. Great. Robotics is related to which industrial revolution? 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Yeah, the link is there in the chat, or you can go to www.menti.com. Yeah, 7646770 is the code. Good. Good. I think there is one person who always try to give a wrong answer. He or she, I think they know the right answer, but they are trying to give a wrong answer. The obvious wrong answer. Oh, there are two persons. Okay, good. So the majority wins. It's Industry 3.0 is where, robotics is all about. Cool. Great. Now, very important question. What is Industry 5.0? What is expected from it? Industry 5.0. Let's go beyond Industry 4.0. Yeah. What's expected from Industry 5.0? Any answers? Okay. Yeah. Good. I appreciate. But it's more than AI. It's not only AI. Artificial intelligence is, Industry 4.0. We are using it now itself. But what is Industry 5.0? I don't know how many of you are following Elon Musk. Yeah. In one of the conference, he mentioned what he is worried about. He is not worried about anything else. He is worried about only one important thing. AI may take away many people's job, especially, in some of the countries. And if that happens, what to do with that particular people? So he proposed it has to work along with the human. Only then, it will be sustainable. Exactly. Interaction between human and machine. That is the reason, humanoid labors are, it is like enhancing the efficiency of the human or the mankind. That is what is Industry 5.0 is all about, so that people are not neglected, rather the technology is working along with them. Yeah, that is what he is researching on the Neuralink and other things. Yeah, cool, very nice. Okay, I think interaction between human and machine is something what we are thinking. Exactly, high speed accurate thinking of humans. So the machine also have to work like our thoughts in our brain. No one can probably overdo or can even beat us. We are very powerful, especially in our thoughts, but machines or the accessories what we are using are not so speedy. Especially, when I want to type in the keyboard, I cannot type with the way my thoughts are going. My thought is going in a lightning speed, but I am probably typing in a the frog speed or a snail speed. But my thoughts speed is something very, very rapid. So the machines also have to cope up with that particular high speed of the human thought. That is what the people are researching about, and that is what we are expecting in Industry 5.0 in the future. Okay, cool. So it's going to be technology, and the technology is going to probably take it up or get or create the shape, of our future world. Okay, fine, great. So with this, let's go into the very important topic and how we are doing it at LG. That is something what you all want to understand from us, especially the innovation or the digital innovation ecosystem what we have created. Just sharing my entire screen. Cool. Yeah. So LG, we are present in 120 countries. 30 countries we are doing our direct presence, and 3 manufacturing sites we are having. And there are it's a Coimbatore based Indian multinational company, and we are having subsidiaries across the globe. And there are a lot of merger and acquisition what we have done, especially in US, Australia, kind of countries. And LG SOR is our defense wing, where we are supplying the defense industry with the compressor system. ATS LG is a wing where we are supplying equipments which are needed for the automotive world. So digitalization, when we started, all these hypes, lot of confusions, everything were there. But we want to, use it only towards achieving our aspiration. Our aspiration is, to be one among the top 3 air compressor manufacturer. That is our aspiration. So we want to use digitalization as a very key enabler for achieving that particular aspiration. And there is a midterm goal set by the management, and we have a very concrete plan of how we are going to roll out. But it is a new technology which is not matured, which is not available probably in abundance or at the cost at which we are expecting. So the cost of making a mistake is something very huge. So we want to adopt an different approach. And can someone tell who is this gentleman in this particular video? Can you all see the video? Sorry, the slide. Yeah, gentlemen here, especially the management students. Yeah. Any guess? Any guess? Hope I am connected. Dr. Vandana, I hope I am there, right?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So anyone guess who this is? Yeah, fine. So yeah, so no problem. So he's a a guru in management. So Harvard professor, many books he has written, though he is no more. He is the management guru, and who he has given a lot of things to the thing. Especially I have seen your brochure. You have put co-create. So that co-create, that particular word was initially pronounced by Professor C.K. Prahlad. Okay, so he is the famous Professor C.K. Prahlad. C stands for Coimbatore. So Coimbatore Krishna Rao Prahlad is his name. Yeah. So just imagine, I don't know how many of you are hailing from Coimbatore, including me, but we don't have, Coimbatore in our as part of our surname, but he has it, and that is how I heard his name at Germany when I was attending one training, and the Germans were trying to pronounce his name Coimbatore. Then I suddenly woke up, hey, who is calling my turn? Then they were saying like, okay, this gentleman is who have created this very important aspect called co-create, and that is what we are going to use. So we have adopted many learnings from him, especially the 3 important mantras from him. One is experiment, start small, scale fast. So
we have to experiment, start small, scale fast.
I don't know whether you are able to hear it, but this is a YouTube clip which we have just snapped it, and where he mentions these three words: experiment, start small, scale fast. Whenever we are creating a change, we have to use this particular three-pronged approach. We have added some more, the things to this. One is experiment with academic spirit, start small with a startup spirit, and scale fast with a corporate spirit. And we also have the roadmap of Gartner, which is very famous for making, the data-driven business transformation as our, roadmap for how we are going to use our data. So these both things are our guiding principles, especially for our digital innovation ecosystem. Yeah. So experiment with academic spirit. That is the reason we are collaborating with a lot of academic institutions, and we are, asking the researchers and the students to work on technologies, especially, something in probably Gartner Hype Cycle maybe 2 years back. Okay, now people say that it is in the plateau of the expectation, but we see that even those technologies are very hard to implement, especially the cost of implementation, especially cost of making the implementation right is okay, but sometimes when it goes wrong, it is very huge mistake. Yeah. So, and this is our context. I'm not going to waste much time on it. So just I want to tell that digital innovation ecosystem is what we are working with. Now, what is the secret? How we can do it? That is very important. When we are creating an ecosystem, especially ecosystem means we are talking about startups, we are talking about academia, we are talking about internal enthusiasts also. There will be some colleagues who wants to take this particular thing as, as something as an intrapreneur. So all those things are also possible. When this has to be done, you need to have a very clear business process. What we did is, for our digital innovation ecosystem, we created a business process and got it approved by our top management. Yes, and even in this particular business process, you can see that with all the legal, protections and the interest of the company saved, we are also following experiment, start small, scale fast as our, pillar. But each and every stage of our project has, when experiment has to happen, it has to happen. And before that, these are all the process which has to get finished. Now experiment is happening, then these are all the things it has to get finished. After that, there will be a steering committee approval. And after the steering committee approval, it will be going for the start small. There is a sequence, there is a business process which is in place. This is very important when you have to create an ecosystem. And in addition to that, we also created another ecosystem where it is something like, it's an open source. That means like my knowledge is not closed. I am opening my entire knowledge to the world. Even we are working on a project called Second Brain. That means whatever knowledge I am having or my colleagues are having, they can put it into a common computer or a common server. And the software we are planning to use is called Obsidian, where you can put the data in and it will do the knowledge management for you with, the knowledge graph kind of, algorithms. So that when someone else is searching, it's something like having a Google for your own institution. Your own organization. That is what we are trying to build. It's called the project Second Brain, which we are working on. And that is another open culture what we are promoting, because digitalization, when you have to do it, you need to have that particular open culture. And with that only, you will be able to have this particular ecosystem up and running. And very important is there has to be marketing team for it. So we are having an internal social media called Yammer, and whatever is the success of the ecosystem is getting posted, testimonials are recorded, and it is liked, shared, and subscribed. But very important within our organization, and it is also available for our dojo members. That means, for example, GRG, we are having a digital innovation dojo. So there are 10 plus professors, 30 students, and now it is going to be 50 students. They will also have access to that particular knowledge, as well as, the postings and other things, what is happening inside the industry, inside our industry. And we segregate the projects into three important aspects. One is the front-end project, that is the project which is directly linked with the customer. Second is the backend project, a project which is linked with our operations or support functions. And there are some governance related projects also, which is something mandated. It has to be done. It is either, a legal requirement or it is mandated by our top management. So this is a broad perspective of how the LG universe is. We are having operations in Australia, Brazil, US and Europe, and Isame is India and Middle East, kind of an region. And we are just mapping, what are all the projects running in each and every region. You can see that in US we are having 4 projects which is running, and rest other projects are running in India, especially in the support functions, and there are a few projects which is running in the operations also. And these are all the institutions with whom we have collaborated as part of this ecosystem. See, when you are having a process, when you are having a legal framework, and you are having, a win-win situation for the academic institutions and the startups, even as many startups come to us, and we say that, okay, see, we are ready to share our problem area, our perspective of how this particular technology have to work for us. If you are able to do it, this is our expectation. If you're able to do it, we are ready to give you an offer. Yeah, that's all. So experiment is something we don't allow them, probably to negotiate with us for some price and other things, because experimentation has to be in academic spirit, where we are trying to, support them with whatever infrastructure needed, so that nothing goes out from their hand. And if in experiment they are successful, then we can start up. And in startup, again, there will be a lot of constraints, especially on resources. And once that is successful, then scale fast. In scale fast, you will be having a budget and timeline, so perfectly things can happen. And my IT colleagues will come into picture, and they will also take up that particular project and scale it fast. So that is how we are working on it. There are some beautiful case studies which I can also project, but before that, I will say, like, there has to be a way how we have to manage these projects. Instead of a waterfall project, we are following an agile framework, where there will be, every 1 to 4 weeks. Some projects, even every week there is a progress, but some projects, that will be like a 3 weeks sprint. So every 3 weeks there will be a working solution, and that working solution will be demonstrated to the end customer, and with their particular feedback, we will take it to the next level. If the customer says, sorry, I think this particular project is not up to our expectation, we drop it, or we will give it to other ecosystem. That means it can be startups or established players, and if it is available outside, we will go there. Otherwise, it is like, along with my customer, we co-create the things. For me, customer means it is internal customer, and we follow the agile framework, and Scrum is the way how we are managing our everyday activities. So these are all some of the success stories of our ecosystem. So here, before there used to be a box which people have to carry. If I have to give them a training of our intelligent electronic device, which gets mounted on my compressor. So now, instead of carrying this particular box, they have to just log into a computer, and virtually whatever is there here will be appearing here, and they can play with it. Very important. This will be with power supply, and there is a risk of multiple things. Even there can be a voltage problem, or there can be a leakage. Sometimes it will be hazardous also, but here completely risk free. You can play, and very important. This also we are planning to club it with an assessment system, so that we will certify people that yes, he has cleared the navigation feature in the Neuron 3 controller. That is, we have another controller, Neuron 4 controller. We will also certify for Neuron 4 controller when he is able to do it in the Neuron. It's something like how you are going to the driving school. Initially, when you are driving, they are giving you a simulator. Same way, we will give them a simulator, and with that, they will get trained, and after that, it will be gone to the next level. Another example here, where we are automating our documentation process. See, our compressors, as I told you, it is going to defense, and especially there is a pressure vessel which also which comes along with the compressor. And this particular vessel is, needs a lot of testing, and the documentation of that particular test have to be preserved. Previously, it was more manual driven. Now, what we have done is it is completely automatic. A person or a qualified operator have to just enter few informations, and automatically the data will be coming to the server, and the server will create a workflow, and it will go for the approval, and when our approval is done, automatically the report gets completed. So instead of a person taking the data and finishing everything, it is a robotic process automation is something what we have introduced here. There is a huge potential for this particular project also. Another way what we are doing is training our workforce on the new compressors or the new products what we are releasing to the market. What we are doing, like how the digital twin we have created for the electronic controller, here also we are creating a complete digital twin so that people can play with the compressors, they can expand it, they can see it. Even with the virtual reality kit, they can have a very immersive experience of what is happening. This is another application what is built, which is something like when my colleague is going to a organization and the organization wants a compressed room, then probably along with the customer we can co-create it using this particular platform. So this is not a kind of a drafting software, because drafting software requires a skill, license, and that particular laptop or the computer how to be of a certain specification. But this is completely in web browser where the people can easily draw it. And another important aspect is once it is done, this can be viewed in a virtual reality goggle, so that the people my customer who wants a compressor room, he can have a look and feel of how it would be if it is going to be the LG compressors there and the LG accessories there. This is another example what I want to show you. Like this, there are a lot of examples, but shortage of time, I'm limiting it myself, limiting it up to this particular example. And if there are some questions, then I would be happy to answer, please.
Participants can also type the questions in the chat box.
Yeah, this is good evening. This is Srinivasan from Roots.
Hello, Mr. Srinivasan. Hi.
Yes, sir. Really nice, and really you've taken from digital to digitally. You told three things, digitalization.
Digitalization. Yeah, digitization,
digitalization, digital transformation. I think four things you told very clearly. It's a new, maybe words we may heard then and there, but it is a really structured way of presentation. I think time may not be enough for you, even for if we give full day. Thank you. Thank you for sharing valuable information.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you. Any other questions?
I think there are not much questions, but I may like to ask one question.
Yes, Professor, please.
When you are, in this journey of digital transformation, do you find any resistance among the employees, or are they excited? Because sometimes we find that everyone may not be very tech savvy, and when all this digitization, you have to learn new things. So how is it that all segments of your employees, are they excited, or do you find that there are some resistances in the organization?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question, and many of us probably have it in our mind. So as a strategy, what we did is we are not pressurizing people to achieve something as part of the digital transformation journey. So we are keeping it very loose. We are only saying like, okay, please come in, learn this particular new technology, and if you have some use cases in your own area, then implement it, and we will support you. And when you are going in this particular way, then automatically people will come in and they will start learning it. I'm very sure among 100 only 10 will turn up, but it's okay. But it has to be has to be a journey, and they have to come in, they have to see the value, they have to do some small projects, and then the next person will come. So what we do is we organize boot camps very regularly, and it happens at least once or twice in a month. And during this particular bootcamp, we will say like walk in with the problem and go out with the solution, that kind of thing. So when you are helping them, in finding a solution for their problems. You will not face resistance, because we are not pushing anything. It's everything a pull. So we are only saying, like, come in, enjoy your learning, and if you have some problems, come with it, and in the evening you will walk out with a solution. That is the way we are doing it, Professor, and we are seeing a lot of success with this.
That's actually wonderful to hear, that you don't push it, but then rather volunteer to offer solutions to the problems. And when they see value, I think that is the best way, I think, to initiate a change like this.
Yeah. Yes, Professor. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering. Any other questions? Does the audience have any questions? I think I think there are no questions, so I will wrap it up. Anyway, you have given your contacts, no, sir. So anybody wants to ask, maybe they can connect with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so on behalf of everyone at CMA, I thank you so much for that insightful presentation. It was very well structured, and I think we are all in awe of the way you engaged us through technology, through your mentee.com. So I was also initially I was fumbling, and then I then got into it, and then I was answering. So that way, you were connected throughout. You were engaged. You were not able to move from your seat. So very interesting way. And then you took us from the industrial revolution to the changes that you're bringing in LG. I wish you all the success with all the changes that you are trying to bring about. And I think that is something which we have to accept, that technology changes are here to stay. We like it or we don't like it. There is no choice, but we have to go with it. If we don't adopt, we become a dinosaur. So thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thank Vidya and her team and all the members of CMA for this opportunity. And thank you so much for sparing time to be with us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Professor. Looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you, participants, for your attention. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Thank you, Dr. Som. It was a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.